Hey, what's up, guys? This is David Chase Taylor of 911truther.org. Today is May 4th of 2025. So, based on breaking news and events, it appears the CIA headquarters located beneath CERN at Lake Geneva in Switzerland has greenlit the preemptive Israeli attack on Iran, specifically to trigger World War III. So, in the last 24 hours, there have been three major terror-related events, all of which are going to be linked to Iran. Two of them already have. That is, in London this morning on May 4th, the CIA staged the arrest of like 8 Iranian nationals, which will predictably be implicated in a terror plot in London. The CIA foiled an alleged bombing plot targeting the Lady Gaga concert in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. This will predictably be linked to Hezbollah or Hamas and back to Iran. And then, of course, we have the Houthi militia ballistic missile strike targeting David Ben Gurion Airport in Tel Aviv, Israel. And Netanyahu has already publicly stated this morning that he's going to respond. And I'm here to tell you exactly what they're going to do. So, exactly when this attack will happen is obviously not known, but it's most likely going to happen on the morning of May 5th, 2025, during the live broadcast of the Golden State Warriors versus Houston Rockets game in the United States, which is in Houston, Texas. And in order to essentially provide the straw which broke the proverbial camel's back, the CIA is likely going to stage an Iranian-backed attack in the United States so that the United States will back up Israel in this preemptive attack on Iran. So in the event that the CIA greenlights a false flag attack in the United States, it's going to be chemical, biological, radiological, or nuclear in nature, and it's going to happen in the United States, possibly a 9/11 style attack or a chemical attack or biological attack, but they're going to blame it on Iran, and basically the Israeli Air Force is ready to go. They're going to attack Iran. So, of course, the CIA has desperately been trying to start this U.S.-Iran war, Israel-Iran war, as a pretext for World War III. And so in the event that they stage an attack in the United States or Israel in the next 24 hours to greenlight this war, it's going to be blamed on Hamas, which is an ode or to hummus, which is a Jewish food, Hezbollah, the Houthi militia, or the IRGC, which is Islamic Revolutionary Guard, the Special Forces of Iran. So basically, these are these proxies, which are basically Israeli proxies. Basically, the Israeli Mossad and the IDF are committing all these attacks and then blaming them on these Islamic groups, basically to start World War III. Not to say that these groups don't exist in some capacity, but they're basically proxies of the state of Israel, which is why if you go to Google and you put in Israeli-Iran proxy war, you can see that this has been going on since 1986. Basically, the impending attack, false flag attack, that's likely going to happen in the next 24 hours to spark this war is going to be basically executed by the Israeli Mossad, just like they did 9/11 in the United States and 7/7 bombings in London. But it's most likely going to come via the Mossad, the IDF, the Shin Bet, the Israeli Navy, or the Israeli Air Force. And in order to get Israel ready for this preemptive attack on Iran, they executed Operation Breaking Dawn back on August 5th through 7th of 2022, which was the activation of 25,000 Israeli Defense Forces reservists, the troops. And so these are going to be the troops which are basically going to invade Iran in the aftermath of this impending false flag. If for some reason they do not stage a false flag terror attack in the United States or in Israel or in Europe in the next 24 hours to basically provide motive for this impending Israeli attack on Iran, which will likely be backed up by the United States. They will target Iran's nuclear sites. So if you haven't been paying attention over the last few weeks, the CIA has staged, I believe, 3 meetings. The first one was in Muscat, Oman. The second meeting was in Rome, Italy, and the third meeting was back in Muscat, Oman. These are these Iranian nuclear talks between U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and other diplomatic delegations, as well as with the Iranian diplomats regarding Iran's nuclear program. And just this morning, Trump said that he would be open to Iran having a civilian nuclear weapons program, or excuse me, nuclear program. And so this is designed to highlight Iran's nuclear capabilities just prior to this preemptive Israeli and or U.S. joint attack on Iran's nuclear program. So just to give you an idea of what this attack is going to be, it's basically going to be Israeli warplanes and or drones and or ballistic missiles blowing up all these different alleged nuclear sites across Iran. So this is going to create a Fukushima, Chernobyl-like event where this radiation is going to obviously be spread all across Iran, and then it's going to move in a cloud across the globe. Number one. Number two, this preemptive attack is specifically designed to provide a motive for false flag nuclear terror attacks in the United States, Israel, and or Europe that will be blamed on Iran. So just imagine that on the morning of May 5th, Israel and the United States strike Iranian nuclear sites. Then a few days later, there's going to be nuclear attacks in Washington, D.C., in New York, in Tel Aviv, in Jerusalem, in London that will be blamed on Iran. And then this will trigger a full-scale nuclear war. And then, of course, Russia and China will back up Iran. And then next thing you know, we're going to have full-scale nuclear war and, of course, World War III. So in order to foreshadow this preemptive Israeli strike on Israel, on Iran's nuclear program, U.S. President Donald Trump stated back on October 4th of 2024 that, quote unquote, Israel should hit the nuclear sites first and worry about the rest later. And the notion that Israel would go it alone or attack Iran's nuclear program without provocation and without due process, without getting a UN resolution for war or what have you, has occurred twice in history. The first one being back on June 7th of 1981, when the Israeli Air Force attacked Iraq's nuclear reactor located 17 kilometers outside of Baghdad. This was called Operation Babylon. And then most recently on September 6th of 2007, the Israeli Air Force struck Syria's Al-Kabar nuclear reactor in Syria, totally destroying it. So the CIA has set the precedent historically for an preemptive Israeli attack on Iran's nuclear program, and this is designed to trigger World War III. So it's going to happen really fast. It's going to be it's going to be like a movie. So first you're going to see Israeli warplanes and or U.S. warplanes striking these nuclear sites across Iran. You're going to see these huge mushroom clouds because they're going to use these 3,000-ton bombs or whatever they are, these bunker buster bombs. And then you're going to see a mass mobilization of Iranian troops go into Israel. And then you're going to start seeing nuclear bombs exploding in Washington, D.C., in New York City, in London, in Tel Aviv, and in Jerusalem or other major cities. And then this is going to bring out all full-scale World War III. And it's imperative to note that these false flag attacks, these mass arrests of Iranian nationals and this fake bombing plot, they're all concocted by the CIA. Along with Iran's nuclear program, It's imperative to note here on the record that the United States is not allowed to talk directly to Iran. Aside from these nuclear meetings, the United States, for example, if Donald J. Trump wants to talk to Ali Khamenei, the supreme leader of Iran, he has to go through Switzerland. And that's because Switzerland is home to the CIA, and they're basically playing Iran against Israel, against the United States. And also, it's imperative to note that the leadership of Iran is Jewish. So while they tout all this anti-Semitic rhetoric in the public sphere, there's the Jewish hospital in Tehran, there's Jewish Iranian leaders, and so basically this is a closet Zionist state, and they plan to smash it against Israel and the United States, basically to trigger World War III. So obviously, this attack that's planned, this false flag that's planned for the United States on May 4th, as pretext for a full-scale attack and invasion of Iran on May 5th, can obviously not be allowed to happen. So if in fact this transpires in reality, I kindly ask that you download this video and share it with local, state, and federal law enforcement, military, and intelligence officials, as well as with local, national, and international media outlets. Peace.